Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 541 of Geeks in Space. I am Rob Commander Tacomaldo, and I hope you're ready to wolf out because we're here to watch Teen Wolf with four of the greatest geeks that you're ever going to have the opportunity to encounter on a Zoom call. We got a Rob Roseboom.
Yeah.
A Cliff Lampy.
A middle-aged wolf.
A Chris DeBona.
I just noticed that we're all bearded, hirsute, hairy gentlemen.
And a Nate Ostendorp.
Van surfing since the 80s.
All right. So my pick, my apologies. This is on my list of movies that I had a VHS tape of, and that's become my thing now for these movies, is finding the movies that I had in the. Do you remember the big plastic drawer with like the plastic vinyl wood grain fake finish on it that was kind of mandatory in the 80s? This was in there, and this, of course, is the other Michael J. Fox movie in that library. So of course it got watched a lot.
The other one being Back to the Future?
Yes.
Not The Secret of My Success.
No.
Or the one where he did the drugs.
Career Opportunities was later, right? Was that him? Oh no, Doc Hollywood.
No, well, there's Doc Hollywood, but there was one where he did a lot of drugs and it was regretful. It was the 80s cocaine movie that he did.
All right. Does anybody have any thing that they want to get off their chest before we begin the suffering? I
have a confession. I didn't watch the movie. I've been in the middle of this crazy stuff, so I'm just here to more listen and be here with you, my pals.
It's about a wolf who's a teen.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what I didn't understand, because I have never seen this movie, like most of our movies, and like I did not understand that this is actually just a basketball pick. Like the wolf is really a footnote to the intense basketball competition between high schools.
That's right.
Go Dragons.
Yeah.
Go Beavers.
Dragons are the bad team.
That's right. No, I'm rooting for the Beavers. And Michael J. Fox was number 42. How could, middle school me not think this is the greatest movie ever? All right.
You must have had some taste.
Oh, no, I really didn't.
No, I think this is proof of it.
Yeah, and as Rob will tell you, my taste has not improved.
No. Well, the thing is, though, I've come to understand that I liked bad movies, too. You just liked different bad movies as a kid than I did.
Worst movies.
Well, so I think that it really just comes down to the phase of my life where I had the drawer of VHS tapes is the phase of my life where my parents had some influence on what was going into those drawers. By high school, I can bike to the video rental place and pick my own movies, but these are the formative movies because this is before I got to choose.
But while we're on the opening credits here, the thing that blew me away this watching that I had never realized before is that this was written by Jeff Loeb.
The comic book guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I looked that up too. So he wrote Stargirl and stuff?
Wait, is it the same one?
Yeah.
So I just
Jeff
want to...
Loeb, the guy who writes questionable content.
Yeah.
Is this guy and the Stargirl person?
Actually, was he Stargirl or is he the other one? I can't.
Not Stargirl. Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
I'm freaking out now. All right. Let's just keep going. Sorry.
This is as far as I got into the movie before I started getting annoyed. Because just play it for that freaking noise that's going on in the background.
Yeah.
Sure. See, at first I'm thinking, because I know they're playing basketball, is it a basketball? But it's not a basketball. It's just some sort of stupid noise for no reason.
Right.
I think it's supposed to be his heart.
He's stressing, man.
Yeah.
The thing that really gets me about this whole movie, honestly, but especially during this scene, is the sheer amount of sweat falling off of, I'm going to put air quotes up here to say, teen boys, because I also went through and looked up the age of all of these actors, and there really is not anybody that's like younger than 24 or 25 in this movie.
I also have to wonder if, I mean, okay, so I looked this up. Michael J. Fox is 5'4". Did they have to cast specifically short basketball players so that he wouldn't just look completely ridiculous on the court? He looks short on the court right now, but 5'4" in basketball is ludicrous.
But he's 7'4" in heart.
He's not Spud Webb.
Well, I have to tell you, looking at that, it looks like they actually lowered the baskets as well.
No,
Seriously,
they
look
didn't
at
do
that.
that.
Yeah, it looks like it.
They might have padded out Chubbs there, or Chubby. Is that what they call him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, example of the terrific writing in this thing.
Yeah.
What do we call the fat kid? I don't know. Let's call him Chubby.
Solved. Yeah.
But like the star basketball player on the Dragons is what, maybe 5 foot?
Yeah. I'd
Eight?
say he's like 5'8".
Yeah, 10 maybe. Boy, there's a lot of so-so names in this movie.
Beat the 5 o'clock traffic. There's a lot to learn from losing.
I think this was my tag for this scene,
Yep.
just because I want to put this guy up for best basketball coach in movie history.
Totally.
Like, I love everything about this man. I love everything about him.
I have most of his great quotes in my time codes as well. Like, he is by far my favorite character in this movie is the apathetic basketball coach.
I took all of my notes into a notepad, and the last thing I did was transcribe all of the time codes into the spreadsheet. And I was like, "Yep, Nate got it. Nate," because everything this guy says is just so stupid. It's
Gold.
great.
Everything that is gold.
Oh yeah,
Beautiful.
He could be our leader. I think that we might want to get him. Oh boy.
Okay, so where do I even begin? We just talked about the best character in this movie. Can we please take a second to talk about hands down the worst character in this movie?
Okay.
Like look at this tool. I mean, look at his shirt. Someone was like, "Aha, that'll be clever.
Yep.
It'll make it look like he doesn't care about stuff, and that's cool, right?"
Yep.
He's just he's like a stereotype, but not even like an accurate stereotype. He's just so stupid. This guy is. I can't handle it.
Also, he looks like he's tucking it under.
Oh.
I hate to put it that way, but like he's for someone who's presenting, he's not presenting a lot.
He's packing heat in that red denim.
No, that's the point. He's packing cool.
Yeah,
whatever the outfit is. Yeah.
He has many offensive T-shirts. That lets you know that he's a bad guy. He's edgy. I don't mean bad like evil. I mean like edgy.
But he kind of is. I mean, he's absolutely a criminal, as you'll see.
Well, that's one of the things. Like, part of this movie is that Scott is likable and the wolf tones him unlikable, and he has to deal with that, right? But he's never likable. Like, he's always kind of a dick.
Right.
Like, all the protagonists in this movie are kind of jerks.
Wait till we get to Boof.
Well, I wanted to point out something about the chubby fella. So the chubby fella was also in Pee-wee's Big Adventure as Francis.
He's in a bunch of stuff.
Which is kind of a great role. I mean, everyone remembers Francis. So
Francis. Yeah, here's the first little bit of gross, that little hair thing that he yanks out, and as a kid, super grossed me out.
Really?
Yep.
Hair?
That because it was like
remember,
a big
Rob
long wad of hair.
He didn't understand the puberty analogy.
Well, so this is I've run into this with a lot of these movies that we've been rewatching. There are the class of movies that I saw before puberty, and this is definitely in the group of movies I saw before puberty. So, to me, as an 11-year-old or whatever, this is clearly I see all the puberty references happening in this, but that it's freaky, man.
You missed an opportunity for a great joke. You said, as someone who is 16 and hadn't entered puberty yet, you should have gone all in.
I made it to 15 and a half. It's okay. Yeah. All right, so let's see our coach. He's got some great stuff.
Okay, here we go.
I'm sorry I didn't notice, but I haven't been hanging around the locker room all that much.
No.
He's talking about peeping on his own gym students, and that is just the grossest.
Well, he's pointing out he doesn't, which is admirable.
Yep.
I like that the sign says no students allowed.
Right. It's honest.
That's how it is at your college, right?
Yeah, I want to see you.
Oh, you got the dirty COVID.
I don't know. He quit. It's the third stringer. I didn't need him.
He tells the whole story.
He tells a story about a kid, just like you. Oh, well, what happened to the kid? I don't know. He quit. He was a third stringer. I didn't need him.
Whatever, he sucks.
This guy is the best. I love this guy so much.
All right. Is like there had to have been someone on set, right, who was like, maybe we don't title the romantic interest in the movie a slang term for anal sex. I mean, surely someone pointed that out, right? Was like, why are we calling this poor girl Boof?
Well, maybe she's Catholic. I don't know.
Anything but.
Well, in the movie, her last name is Marconi, so
Oh.
she's definitely an Italian.
All right.
Look at me. Now try and be objective. Am I all right? I mean, is there anything wrong with me?
That was you, Cliff?
So yeah, I think I have the time code wrong, but he's part of this scene is him talking about like how he just wants to get out of this town, and like his whole thing is just I want to leave and do something with my life, and it made me realize that this is really just Star Wars,
Oh, sure.
right? This movie is just Star Wars.
He's got a superpower. He's a Jedi. He's a wolf.
Yep, and eventually
Right.
he's going to shoot that photon torpedo down the tube in the last scene and
That's
win the
right.
love
He
of
takes
his
down
life.
the Death Star, which is the dragons, right? Like
Mhm.
this is just Star Wars, and it made me think that all these 80 movies really owe some royalties to Joseph Campbell.
The hero's journey.
That's right. George Lucas sure would like you to believe that he was big into that before he wrote that script. You can choose to believe that if you like. All right. Well, okay. Now we introduce the dad, who is like straight up legit a decent fellow. And like, again, 11-year-old me is like, that's a good dad.
He's a very 80s dad.
Oh, yeah.
I think we are supposed to think he's a good dad, but I keep getting hung up on the idea that he didn't tell his son he was a werewolf, right?
Okay.
Right, we're supposed to think he's a good guy because in actuality he's a satanic creature that wants to eat people's flesh. He's cursed, and he's passed that evil curse onto his son.
So
And didn't tell him about it.
I guess maybe
It'd
it's
be like-
well. Let's talk about the rules of wolfing out in a little bit when we have some good visuals to go along with this. I don't know, like I know he's designed to be, like the sympathetic father. It's you've got the missing mom and all of that stuff. There's lots of good stuff in there, but like he cares, and like it's nice to see an 80s movie where the parents aren't just stupid or evil. And I'm thinking back through a lot of the movies that we've watched, and like in most of these movies, the parents are incompetent or foolish or mean. He wants his kid to, get by despite having, I don't know, a genetic advantage, maybe.
I don't know, man. I can't relate to a caring, nurturing father figure.
I hear you. But can you relate to this?
Assault? Yeah, I can relate to assault.
It's broken. I edited I jumped in front of the dog whistles. There's so many dog whistles, and it made me very, very angry. But that's the first or the second clue of what's going on with him, that he can hear dog whistles. But I guess as a audience member, the fact that you bought a ticket in 1985 to a movie called Teen Wolf, I assume you knew that the Family Ties boy was going to turn into something.
Yeah, it's not like a twist.
No. This I just thought was a weird scene because here he is on the basketball team, but he's kind of nerdy and he is shamed by the theater club, which
Right.
I tell you is pretty much inverted
like,
of my
yeah,
high school. Like
the food chain is completely reversed in this situation, right?
Like, oh, the theater is where the cool kids are, and you really want to be in theater, and the basketball team's all losers and dorks.
I think
Nope.
initially the power structure is not quite theater kid. I think that the power structure here is delivery boy and drum. So she's the star of the play, and he's merely a delivery boy. But that said, Nate, you had lines in the school plays. I pounded nails. You were cooler than me in high school.
Yeah, still not as cool as the basketball kids.
That's true.
I think we can all agree, however, that this drama teacher is committing improprieties with this student, right? Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of, let's say,
it was the
problematic.
Yeah,
It also
I can
doesn't
tell you
help
some
that
stories
he
about
looks,
high school in the 80s.
He looks like is it Carl Sagan? He looks so familiar to me.
I think it looks a little bit like Bill Bixby, maybe there.
There we go. I got the hands paused just because I wanted to say, don't worry about it, man. It happens to a lot of guys.
how is he masturbating? That's where the hair grew.
All right. Here's Stiles demonstrating his powers.
Oh,
The boss is throwing a big bash for one of the boys down at the gravel pit.
All right. So he just rolled the D20.
Yeah.
2.
Oh, fart. Although I'm a big fan of the cliche of the store owner preventing you from buying beer. I always like that. Although I guess since like maybe Superbad, I don't know that we've ever really seen that done so much anymore. But also, this guy's just awesome.
Any of you fellas ever try to trick your way into a keg?
Yep.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid in Salt Lake City, there was a gas station where you could reliably buy beer when you were 16. And I thought it was because I looked old, but looking back, I'm like, nah, they just wanted money.
They didn't care.
It's fine.
It was Mother Hubbard in Holland.
Yep.
Where you could go and buy Boone's Farm.
Legend.
As long as you had a car.
Well, it's nice to have Boone's Farm because you could use it as a paint thinner, you know.
Okay, so here, like, this is the stupidest plan I have ever heard in my life. Just adding to my hate for Stiles. I mean, their plan is he's going to pretend to have a gun
with a squirt gun
to get some beer. You just stand outside the liquor store and give someone a little extra cash to get you beer, like a decent person.
I agree. This is a recipe for getting like a double barrel shotgun in your face.
I do like this clerk though.
He's so great.
Yeah, the clerk is great. Here we are in Wolf Vision right now, and he's going to use the voice. Roll it.
Give me a keg of beer.
And Nate, thank you for making that. I saw that in the notes. I was like, oh my God. It's perfect.
Except like if you're going to get something a little like you're asking for a keg of beer, it might as well be an import or something. Like you're using the voice.
You don't use that for trivial stuff, man. That's not cool.
So
I'm
saw
definitely not going to let this run for more than like 1 second because I have to imagine that the Beach Boys have like a special YouTube copyright flag, which is 2 notes.
There is a ton of van surfing, which I remember watching Back to the Future and watching the skateboard skiing and thinking, oh my God, that's totally dangerous. I should never do that. Pales in comparison with van surfing. Van surfing, like...
Yeah, I feel like
that's terrible.
Stiles here is making it harder for teenage alcoholics everywhere. Right? He's that guy who, can't play it cool ever and ruins it for everyone.
Yeah. So the thing I wanted to tell you about van surfing is we were in the back of a truck and a friend of mine fell off the back of the truck when the guy took off a little fast and he was standing up and he got a concussion and he had to go to the hospital. So let's be clear. This is not safe behavior, kids.
The dad in me really, I loved this scene as a kid, but now being a dad, I was like, oh my God, You rascally teens.
And
They're
they
going
bring
to
it
mess
back.
that house up.
They bring it back at the end too, but like again, this goes back to 11-year-old impressionable me. I thought that Stiles was the coolest human being to ever surf atop a van.
I'm with you.
You had some.
He must have had a
some
great agent.
role model issues.
Oh, dude, you know who I hung out with. Let's see. This is you, Rob. Oh no, this is Cliff.
Oh, this whole party I love
Yeah.
because it is like the epitome of 80s clothing, right? Like if you look and just scan the wardrobe for this party, like the wardrobe are mwah, beautiful.
Yeah, and I wasn't like a bad kid, but I was a drinky kid. And let me assure you, no parties I ever went to were playing this game.
Right?
Or any of these games.
Or
There
had
was
the 1982 Playmate of the Year dressed in lingerie.
Yeah,
Like as
right.
Yep. So again, 11-year-old impressionable mind. This to me is what a high school party must be. And I was sorely disappointed when I discovered, first off, that these children are all in their mid-20s. But also, I don't think that those are real parties. I think they might have scripted this. Oh boy, somebody tagged this one. Oh, it was me. Yeah, I always thought that this scene was weird. I think 11-year-old me might have been confused.
Did it make you feel strange in your tummy?
You know what always bothered me about that scene? He claws the back of her shirt and rips her shirt and claws her back. And I'm like, how do you get away with that? That was what 11-year-old me thought. Like, that's like 11-year-old me knew that was assault. Now, apparently the directors of this movie did not.
Doesn't matter. He's not a person.
Yep.
He's
When
not
you're in
bound to
wolf
human
form.
laws.
When you're in wolf form, you need to call animal control.
Yeah.
So here's
All right.
where
So this is the main event. Like this is what you've been waiting for since you bought a ticket to Teen Wolf.
to Teen Wolf.
This is the
Yeah.
change scene.
That's Alex
This is the
Keaton,
teen.
mate.
Becoming a wolf.
You're through a third of the movie, and finally the payoff.
Yeah, and it's actually pretty cheesy.
Yeah.
Like
The
There's a
fingernails
lot of-
always
yeah.
grossed me out.
You know, and you can see the layers of latex. You know, this is not
Yeah.
really well done.
This
Like they're
looks
not
to
trimmed
me-
well.
Yeah.
Oh, so this actually reminds me, I think in Search for Spock, again, another of my 11-year-old movies, there's like a bunch of weird prosthetics on Spock's face as he's doing the accelerated aging thing. And I think that these images are intrinsically linked to each other because of that.
Yep.
Well, they're very similar, you know, so you're not wrong. This could be the Vulcan growth stage at some, well, they don't become werewolves. But.
Scott? Can I come in? No, Dad. No, I'm doing something in here.
I think this was my note, and the thing that was really bothering me about this scene was the scoring, right? Like whatever electronic harpsichord they had, basically scoring this thing. I was like, man, this movie is ripe for somebody to just lay new music over and rescore this whole thing.
Well, I mean, they spent all their money on the Beach Boys. You know, so the music budget's gone, you know.
Okay, so he's in a bathroom, right?
Yes, we can all agree on that.
All right.
Well, okay.
Okay, so let me ask you, why is there a window in the door next to the next to the pooper?
Maybe you want to check, see if someone's in there.
That's so after you do your business, you can open that door and get the amount of ventilation you really need in a bathroom.
Well, I
Or
mean,
if
so let's count the number of entries and exits. We have the small closet-y looking door. We have the main door. We have the window. We have the other window. Is there like a fourth? I mean, how many doors? This is, yeah. Okay.
So again, the dad gets it. 11-year-old
Because-
me is like, the dad gets it.
How
'Cause
did he
he's a-
never notice his father changing?
Well, because he's a were-wombat, you know, and they dig. So you don't see much of them once it changes.
Aware capybara. You know?
That makes sense.
But it does have to be the weakest looking vampire I've ever seen in my life, right? Like,
especially because it's a werewolf.
Oh, werewolf, yeah.
Although I have to
It's
say,
only werewolf gives tax advice.
Wait, this whole thing was a werewolf movie? No
the
wonder
whole
it
time.
sucked.
The beard and the hair, I'm not sure. Chris or Cliff, which one of you is closer to gray beard werewolf face?
Getting there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty gray. And my hair is out of control because of COVID. So.
I am a little jealous that he can get his hair grown almost all the way up to his eyes, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's impressive.
I have a very patchy beard, you know.
So he actually has the line here.
When you want it, you're going to have great power. And with great power goes a greater responsibility.
He freaking Stan Lee'd this thing.
He's Spider-Man.
Yep.
There's Jeff Loeb's influence right there.
Jeff Loeb's with Teen Wolf.
Good times.
Jeff Loeb. That's how we should. That's how it should be subtitled. Jeff Loeb's Teen Wolf. Why did I wrote? Oh, like he gets so nervous, the whole class is staring at him in front of the chalkboard. He's embarrassed, has to run away. This is the stereotype. Again, this whole movie is like a metaphor for puberty or whatever, and like he just got a boner in front of class, and that's how this movie chose to represent.
Just got his monthly,
right? All right. I also. Okay, the principle's a whole thing, but look at these urinals. Have you ever used urinals like this?
Those are some crazy urinals, I gotta say.
Are those like
each other?
Yeah. I think they're like buddy urinals, so you can hold hands.
Yeah, and you know you got one flusher for two.
That's
right.
so weird.
You face each other. You can still talk, hold a conversation. Talk about the game.
Wait, is there a scene where they show the other side of the urinal? Because is it like a cup or?
Well, I want to know the etiquette. So do you just do you ask if they're done and then flush for them, or do you just simply listen and then presume?
Well, I was done. I flushed because I was done. They are also to the ground, so you know.
Yep.
Well, even if you're 6 years old, you can use those.
They're connected at the bottom. Yeah, look at that. It's open through. That's interesting.
Yeah, so this was filmed in a middle school, which is why the sinks are so low.
Here's some more classic Stiles t-shirt.
This is my favorite of his shirts. I mean, look at that, right?
I would wear that shirt.
As clever as it can get, right?
Oh, so yeah, don't play this, but this is where you see this sort of egregious 80s take on, appearing to be homosexual as a high school student. He says, "I'm not an F word. I'm a werewolf." Yeah. And like everyone's relieved.
Yep.
No homo. Thank God. Yeah. Thank God you're not part of that.
You just cursed? That's great.
It is weird. It's an 80s thing that, I didn't realize until we're watching these things now. Every one of these 80s movies has a no homo or somebody calling each other that word. Like pretty much every one. It's weird.
And that facial expression says it all. It's like, oh, no.
Hey, it's the drop.
Yeah, it's back to Boof. And I gotta say, she plays basketball with his dad, with her dad. That's cool.
That seems creepy to me. I'm sorry.
You're not.
She's a cool chick who they call Boof.
Yep.
She seems to really like him. What's wrong with him, man?
Yep.
That's why
he's going for that
jerk right from the beginning.
Yeah, he's going for that theater girl.
So I just wanted to note the sheer amount of denim that these folks are wearing in this scene. I believe we have 2 pairs of denim pants, 2 denim shirts. That's a lot of denim.
This wasn't filmed in Canada.
But that was 85, man. Like there's a lot of cool kids wore denim.
For reals. I had a denim jacket. I loved it.
So now this is I guess is the other part, right? Now we get the basketball story comes back, I guess. and he's the wolf in front of everyone. And this is where the movie, I guess, I don't know, kind of gets boring. Maybe you get 5 minutes of musical montage, but
yeah, which is a lot of montage.
It is a lot of montage.
Little known fact: this movie directly inspired Hoosiers that came out the next year.
So,
not believing it.
For me, this is the hardest part of this movie to swallow. That, you know, I don't care so much that he's becoming a werewolf and hangs out with these horrible people, but he has just turned into a werewolf in front of all these people and scored a basket, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's cool." You know, he is literally a monster.
Yep.
That guy is literally a monster. But, you know, he made a basket, so
he's good at that.
You know,
everyone's on our team. Yep.
I mean,
it's just so stupid. I can't stand it.
It's time for you to understand.
And what makes a werewolf good at playing basketball? Wolves aren't known for their basketball skills. This is so stupid. Like at least if it was football, he could run fast, maybe, or jump, right? But like, I can more easily put this ball into a basket.
People will allow a monster to be their leader. Have you learned nothing in the last 4 years?
So I have a question. Did you know that Esquire had a list of the 20 best basketball movies of all time? And do you know what was number 18?
Is it this?
God.
Yes. You know why? Because they think a werewolf would make a great basketball player.
A 5'4" werewolf.
A 5'4" werewolf.
So, okay.
So
I have a lot of thoughts about the werewolf powers in this movie, but I like the main thing to this is the ability to turn it on and off and not be having it connected to the moon. Okay, I can accept that. I also find it a little weird, but I get it that he connects it very much to anger, and that's how they resolve the third act, right? He's being punched and shoved and foul, but he's not like gonna wolf out. He's gonna still stay chill. The weirder thing to this movie is just society. They're the real villain here.
That's what you took from this. That was the weird thing.
I think the weird
fact that his hands and feet fit fine in normal shoes. You know,
I think the weird thing is that we are about to have a 5+ minute montage.
Oh yeah,
with a really terrible music loop where he is not only winning at basketball and popular at school, but also if you go forward to, I think it's 53, like at the end of the montage, he is now a grade A student. Yep. Because of his werewolf abilities. He's like,
power of sports.
Getting an A on his test because of his werewolfness.
Just like a wolf would.
Yeah, wolves are good at science. What's the problem? I don't see the problem. The music there was particularly bad. It was like Randy Newman light.
It is. Right? You've got a friend in me.
In 5 minutes of that.
Yeah. It's a
lot. Like you don't need to actually understand what's going on. He's just really popular, gets good grades, captain of the team because he's a werewolf.
And of course, he's got the whole thing with Pamela, man. That's weird. The bowling thing, that's weird. But again, 11-year-old me is like, this is what dating must be like. You go bowling and you grab this girl inappropriately and you have sex with her, and then apparently when you're done she tells you she has a boyfriend. It's really weird.
It can be like that.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's what you're into,
it would be the weirdest story in Americana.
Yeah.
That's true. What do we got here? We're jumping up to 1029.
Nick there is 27 years old when he was starting this movie.
Who was?
It doesn't matter how you play the game, it's whether you win or lose.
There you go.
Yeah, the coach.
Yeah.
But I'd like to follow up on it, and even that doesn't matter all that much.
That guy's filled with life wisdom.
Totally. He is the best character in this movie. He's the smartest, the most world wise. And this goes on a little bit too long, so we can't get to the whole thing, but play a little bit of it.
There's 3 rules that I live by. Never get less than 12 hours sleep. Never play cards with a guy who's got the same first name as a city. And never go near a lady who's got a tattoo of a dagger on her body.
These are all good pieces of advice.
I admire
Like, they talk especially a lot now about the things they should teach kids in school. And I'm just saying, we could do worse than going through his list of rules,
That's true. Winning and losing doesn't really matter.
I admit I haven't seen this movie since I was a kid, but I'm at this point hoping they're near that 11-foot 8-inch bridge.
The one in Dexter that gets the buses stuck out, or the trucks stuck out all the time. Yeah.
It turns out there's one in like every state, but I really want them to hit that.
For sure. So this is our second surfing scene where he flips like 100 times. It's like, wee, I'm just gonna do more flips. In slow motion, in regular motion, just flipping.
Yeah.
I don't think that's Michael J. Fox.
Yep. Yeah, I think that might be a double. All right, Dad tells you gotta be better, your powers, blah, blah, blah. What about Boof?
What about Boof?
Why is she named that?
Title of your sex tape.
Yep. All right.
What about Boof?
Oh, such a dumb movie.
I'm so glad that they put the Bee Gees in there, I tell
You
you.
are an animal.
It's almost surprising that Michael Keaton hated this movie.
What?
Or not Michael
Wow,
Keaton.
right?
Alex Keaton.
Michael J. Fox.
Michael J. Fox.
And you have like the young adults, at the prom.
Right. We're coming up on our 10-year anniversary here and our 10-year reunion.
Now, say what you will about that dude. He knows that dude's a monster. He's going to fight a werewolf.
Yeah.
That's how that guy has so few shits to give. He's going to fight a werewolf. Respect.
We should see a remake of this movie from his perspective.
Yeah.
It'd be like Wicked. Yeah.
Can we do it entirely as Zoom calls?
Yeah, you probably could. It'd probably be just as good.
Well, all right. The principal comes and is an 80s principal, but the good news is Dad is back. And I totally love this because he makes the man wet his pants. So that's a dad's got his back.
It just goes to show that you should use physical intimidation whenever you possibly can. It even works when you're an adult.
Yep.
Sure.
He's a good kid. He's just going through a lot of stuff because I hid from him his entire life that he's a werewolf.
Yep.
Because we're monsters.
Yep.
And you know what monsters do, don't you?
That's right.
They eat principles.
So he does kind of look like Carl Sagan, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
No.
It's the hair.
But yeah, it's the hair.
All right. So he doesn't want to wolf out in front of the play, and then we have to have another 12 minutes of basketball.
You know what? If we just work together, we can somehow be good.
Yeah.
That's what we weren't doing.
I gotta say, like for a movie called Teen Wolf, like not seeing the wolf at all in the back, fifth of this movie.
It's a little disappointing.
It's a little hard to take.
Yeah, after about an hour 7. So we really only have werewolf from like the 38-minute mark until the hour 7 mark.
Wait a second. I would also point out there's never been a single teen in this movie either.
Now it's too bad at the end the other players didn't reveal like he's a zombie, the other guy's a vampire.
Totally.
Maybe one's a phantom. Everyone
Yep.
was a monster and they were just scared to tell him this whole time.
Chubby is the juggernaut.
You could do undead, you could do like Nancy, like
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a nice analogy for like going through puberty though, right? It's like they're like, he had the courage to be himself. Why can't Chubby show the world that he's the Gojira? It's
right. This whole time you find out he's not really fat. He's just had his tail wrapped around his body.
Right? he's a half man, half kangaroo.
Like he's a Medusa.
And of course, in typical 80s fashion, she rejects the jock, wants to be with the loser, but no, He's going
He's
to
with
be
Boof.
with Boof.
He's getting.
I have to say the scene where like Michael sinks that last basket and like the guy looks down, that's some heartbreaking cinematography right there. Like just how defeated he looks. Great acting, great shooting.
Great's
Perfect.
a strong word, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right, folks. You would be shocked to know that we made it through 45 notes in 40 minutes, which says a lot about
Nicely
this
done.
movie.
I don't know. It holds up.
So
Hold up.
what I'll say,
Shut up, Cliff.
what I'll say is that of the movies we've watched, this is like at the absolute peak of the 80s teen movie. Like that, like,
Yeah.
like starting
Yeah.
from like maybe Porky's, and
I would say that this might have the least writing in it and the most 80s marketing that they just smashed together, condensed, and threw into a movie.
Now I have a
It's
theory.
also apparently poison for most of the actors and almost everybody associated with this movie. Apparently,
Which is weird because they made a sequel and then like years and years
TV
later
series.
they made a TV series.
Yeah, but Michael J. Fox didn't even star in the sequel. It was
Yeah, I know.
Jason Bateman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jason Bateman, yeah.
It was his
Chubb came
cousin or
back.
something, right?
Well, no, it was his friend in the dumb thing where he was Alex Keaton. Jason Bateman played his brother or his cousin,
he was like
right?
on the show.
And so it was just like let's take the same actors, whatever. Yeah.
Cliff is confused. He wants to look this up.
No, I already know. Like Jason Bateman played his brother or his cousin in Teen Wolf too.
Yeah.
And the dad drops
but
him off
in-
to college.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Thanks for putting up with this one for me. I promise my next one will actually be a movie that I kind of like and not just a movie
Hold
that I want
up.
to visit. But I think is Chris next?
No, it's Nate. I didn't
it's
do
Nate.
my homework this week, so
All right, we're skipping Chris as penance.
it's true.
1982, John Carpenter, The Thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good
it's
one.
Such a good movie. That'll be enjoyable.
That will actually be fun. I just watched it like 3 months ago, and I'm excited to watch it again.
Nice.
All right, folks. Let's say goodbye to the gang. Goodbye, Rob Roseboom.
See ya.
Goodbye, Dr. Professor Cliff Lampy. Chris DeBona.
Later.
NATO's the Derp.
Stay hairy.
I'm Rob Commander Taco Malda. I hope your wolfing out has been sufficient. We'll see you tomorrow with news, maybe.